Awesome. So we're still here in Las Vegas recording more shows. We have Dr. Brook here, educated in Miami. And then he migrated all the way here to Las Vegas, getting away from the humidity. So, you could tell by this guy here, he doesn't play any games when it comes to health, wellness, fitness. We're going to talk about everything that he deals with his clients and his education level when it comes to peptides and diet, nutrition, all of the stuff that we always talk about. You know how I do, man. I always look for the best health and wellness experts around, and this is one of them here. Doc, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it,
man. So, man, I'm excited about this, man.
Yeah, me too.
You are a IFBB Pro.
Yeah, at 60.
At 60.
I turned it at 60.
That's amazing, man.
Started
Congrats.
this at 50. Thank you. Well, you remember, there was a time where they said, after a certain age, we can't build muscle.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you're
over the hill at 40.
You're the testament that you
Well, that's part of the reason why I do this.
Yeah. And
to show you what is possible.
And as you know, muscle is one of the key things when it comes to longevity.
You're absolutely right. I mean, and you know this as well as anybody, it's muscle atrophy, the loss of muscle that brings about disease.
Right.
Because as the muscle breaks down, it releases metabolites and other toxins in the body. And there was a time when the AMA said that exercise was actually harmful for your body.
That's crazy.
But there was a time when the AMA actually said, before it was the AMA, that leaching was okay. We'll remove bad blood.
Wow.
So, it's a practice.
Right.
And again, I have mad respect for physicians. But again, it is a practice, and it's an evolving practice.
Well, we live in this, here in the United States, we live in this sick care system.
Yes.
Right? Where it's
Good
almost
word.
like, when you look at the medical system, they profit so much off of people being sick. And then they just want to give them that little pill to stabilize those signs and symptoms,
Right.
but never fix the root cause. But let's go back to muscle, right?
Okay.
When we're talking about your metabolism,
Right.
Muscle is very important.
Correct.
So what's your input on making sure your metabolism is always sparked up?
That's a great question. And what helps with my metabolism is my training, but more importantly, diet.
Right.
Now, I come from an era at my age where they used to say you are what you eat.
Absolutely.
And I tell everybody who asks me, what's the best advice you can give? How do I develop abs? And I say, well, abs are made in the kitchen. You can't out-train a bad diet.
That's true.
I know when I'm getting ready for a show, if I don't eat enough food, my weight goes up.
Wow.
If I get all my meals in and all the macros in, which are a tremendous amount of protein, moderate level, but for a non-competitor, amount of carbs, and relatively low fats, but healthy fats, if I miss one of those meals, my weight's going to go up.
What does your nutritional plan typically look like? And I know everyone's a little bit different, but for yours in particular, like
well,
what are the
we
things
primarily do macros, but a typical meal for me is I'll start with 8 egg whites in the morning, 6 ounces to 5 ounces of ground beef or steak, lean steak. And when I'm saying ground beef, I'm talking about the lean ground beef. I'm not talking, right? About 2 servings of oatmeal, 100-gram banana.
Okay.
And then handfuls of supplements. And when I say supplements, I'm talking about natural supplements that some of the synthetic medications that we take were developed from.
Right. And these things are extremely important. When you talk about vitamins, minerals, amino acids, this is how our bodies function on a day-to-day basis. It's part of our metabolic system, right, when we look at it. So when you're taking a lot of these supplements, what are some of your go-to supplements that you're taking on a daily basis?
Well, there is one supplement that was very big back in the 90s and 80s, which was red yeast rice. I look for things, I look at the systems. I don't look so much at the different enzymes, the different vitamins. I look at the system and what the system needs to maximize or to basically ameliorate, prevent your body from deteriorating based on all the things we're taking in from our environment, the sun, the pollutants, some of the foods we can't control, some of the GMOs, we're not always sure it says organic, but is it really coming, you know what I mean?
Right.
Organic. So to decrease the effect this has on the bodies. So I'm big into anti-cholesterol medications because heart disease is the #1 killer. And another one I take is citrus bergamot. I also take CLA. I also take fish oil.
CLA, I remember. I used to take that quite a bit when I competed, actually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they still work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's newer technology, but that doesn't discount for the old.
Right.
And those are just a few, but I also am taking a lot of magnesium and when I take magnesium, I don't take magnesium citrate. I take glycinate or gluconate, depending upon what I'm looking for. If I'm looking to clean out my body, citrate would be better because it's more of a laxative based. I take a lot of calcium. I take a lot of potassium. I take a lot of salt. But when I take salt like pink Himalayan salt.
The pink Himalayan.
Right.
And obviously there's a reason why you do the pink Himalayan.
I do the pink Himalayan because it's a purer form.
Right.
It doesn't have the additives. And I get people all the time, well, I need the iodine. What do you mean you need? How do you know you need the iodine? Because my physician told me, based on.
Right.
There you have to limit your salt because the impurities attach and don't allow the salt to be removed from your body when you're hydrating.
Right.
With the pink Himalayan, it doesn't, not as much attaches, so you can really increase the amount of sodium you're taking. And if you're training hard or you're working hard throughout the day, you're in a Vegas sun, Miami heat, sweating a lot.
Oh yeah.
You need that extra hydration. And so I'll be drinking 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons of water daily.
Hydration is extremely important. Do you ever put your 100%. Pink Himalayan salt inside of your water?
I do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I actually wake up first thing in the morning, and before I have my first meal, I go through a little regimen.
Okay. What does that look like?
Well, I take 24 ounces of water. I take 1/8 of a teaspoon of pink Himalayan.
Nice.
Take a tablespoon of lemon. I take a tablespoon of vinegar, apple cider.
Oh, really good for gut health.
Yep. Yeah. So is the lemon.
Yeah.
And then I put in a little bit of greens in there just to keep the digestive system working.
Okay. Yeah.
And after I finish that, then I have myself some black or green tea, and I mix in L-glutamine, also important for gut health.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then about half hour, 15 minutes to half an hour later, I'll have my first meal. Now that's off season. On season, I'll have the glutamine after I do my morning cardio. So I'll do what they call a fasting cardio.
You do it fasted about how many minutes?
It depends on what my body's doing. Okay. I mean, there isn't really one recipe that fits all because we're all a little bit different. Our bodies were built different. Our past is very big. How we've treated our body in the past is very big.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't always treat my body well in the past, which is I've sort of flipped from
making it different now.
Yeah. But off season, I do 20 minutes cardio every day. When I'm in season, I could be doing 40 to an hour, depending upon how close to a show I am.
Right.
And how my body's responding. But the cardio is more for the health than it is for the fat loss.
Right.
Fat loss is a secondary effect.
Right.
And
so you do like a specific targeted heart rate
when
you're doing your cardio?
I do.
Okay.
I do. But as a trained athlete, the typical one is 220 minus your age, and then you multiply that by 0.6. That's the low end of where you want your heart rate.
That's for your fat burning zone? Or
Yes,
for
fat burning zone.
Cardio?
Fat burning zone.
Okay.
If you're burning fat, you're still in the cardio. Because for cardiovascular, cardiopulmonary, anything that has to do related to circulation or breathing.
Okay.
And the high end, I typically go in season is 0.75 times 220 minus my age. Now, as a trained athlete, I have a much lower resting heart rate. So what I do is I take 220 minus my age minus my resting heart rate. And I monitor everything through my watch.
Your Apple Watch, right?
Yes. And that lets me know what it is for that day. And then I work the calculations to 0.6, 0.75, but then I add back my resting heart rate to that number.
Okay.
So it ups how high it comes out.
So let me talk about something here, because, and I wanted to get to this part of the conversation, because you don't seem like a person who just does guesswork, right?
No.
And obviously, just based off of the formulas you gave, you're very data driven. You got the wearable. How important is actual your own personal health data when it comes to blood work, your different metrics?
I get my blood work done every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
Because I want to notice what I'm doing, how it's affecting me.
Right.
Sometimes I'm going to be a little higher in some areas than might be medically advised, specifically testosterone.
Right.
Because I am taking testosterone replacement therapy. Taking it for 2 reasons. A is men, we age. They say in our 40s, it actually happened for me in my late 20s, early 30s. My testosterone levels started dropping.
Right.
And it was noticeable because I would, well, given the choice between getting up and doing something, I'd choose just rather sit down and rest.
Yeah. And that's important that you're talking about that, because it's not the 40s anymore.
No.
And especially with like the toxic food.
That's
and
because our
hormones.
diets change. You hit on it right there.
We got people in their early 20s.
More
Guys that are-
GMOs, more,
they're
we don't know
coming
what's in our
with
food
the
today.
gynecomastia, testosterone. I mean,
Yeah.
you think they're turning into women, you know, from the levels not so important to get it checked. You know?
Absolutely.
Especially the young
Absolutely.
guys.
Absolutely. And you know, you hit on it perfectly, the diets. I mean, we go back 100 years ago. It was common for men to have testosterone levels in the
Yeah.
thousands.
In the thousands, right? Yeah.
And that wasn't blinked at. Now, red flags, alarms go off.
Sometimes we see women coming in with a higher testosterone than some of these young guys. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's not
And I
good.
mean, right now, the only thing that is a little bit out of the norm is my estradiol, or my estrogen level, is low, and my LSH and follicle stimulating hormone are low. But
And that's understandable because you're
because I'm
supplemental
on
testosterone.
exogenous
Right.
testosterone. It's not my own, so it means that I'm not going to be having children. But at 60, I don't really plan on having too many children, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I would rather not have to deal with the depression, have to deal with the lack of initiative,
Right.
the lethargy that comes along with the low testosterone, the muscle loss. And that's another reason I believe that they said that muscle loss was hard to get after 40, because our testosterone levels were in the tanks.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And with testosterone levels in the tank, of course you're going to lose muscle.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean just because your muscle level's up, or your testosterone level's high, doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden going to build muscle. You have to eat right, and eat right, and eat right. And you don't have to be in the gym doing crazy stuff.
Well, let's talk about other issues
You
with
can
low
do-
testosterone. Low energy, mental fog,
Right.
potential cardiovascular issues. There was a huge stigma for years talking about testosterone causes cardiovascular disease. And a study recently, just a few weeks
Strokes,
ago,
everything.
it just recently came out, a study saying that that's false.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, testosterone will actually help prevent cardiovascular
Yes.
disease.
I think that just depends upon whose pocket's getting lined.
That's the truth.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have any qualms against it. That's why I do the studies myself.
Right.
So I spend a lot of time researching, because not only do I have my health at risk, I have other people who work with me, their health at risk. And I
Right.
don't want to give them advice that's going to lead them down the bad path. Now, then they don't have to do what I say. I give them the recipes.
You
I
guide
encourage them.
Right.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it comes down to what they're willing to do to change.
Yeah. It's a commitment.
It is a huge, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change.
That's the truth.
And I've never felt better at 60 than I felt in my entire life.
That's
And
amazing, man. I
more
love
virile than ever. And I'm just enjoying it. I mean,
that. Yeah.
I just recently got divorced, and I don't want to be a braggart, but there's a lot of women out there that are like, that I never in my life had.
Nice.
And it's just because I put the energy here instead of
Elsewhere.
elsewhere. Right. I focused on fixing me.
So let me ask you something. Right now, there's a big movement. It's called MAHA, Make America Healthy Again.
I love it.
So what's your input on the whole MAHA movement?
What took so long?
Honestly, I didn't even know if this was going to happen in my lifetime.
You know-
almost 2 decades in the functional medicine space, and this is almost like the world that we're in.
Yeah.
We just won the lottery, you know?
Absolutely. And you know, for whatever your thoughts may be on our current administration, because there's a huge, huge camp that's against Trump right now.
Right.
Huge. The derangement syndrome.
Right.
But without that, we wouldn't have Make America Healthy Again.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have our border issues being addressed.
Isn't it crazy when you think about it, about the MAHA movement, right? There's a whole huge group of people that are against the Make America Healthy Again movement just because it's connected with Trump. Like, this shouldn't even be connected with the left or right. Like, everybody should be like, why not be healthy? Why not remove the toxic stuff out of our food?
They're so focused on being on a team,
right.
And this gets down to what society preaches.
It's crazy.
Follow the parameters of society, even though it was built, and it doesn't allow you to go beyond it, and it creates stress to try and meet the demands of society.
Yeah.
And we see it all the time. I mean, I grew up in the era where you went and worked 9 to 5. It was never 9 to 5. It was always 7:30 till the job was done.
Right, exactly.
For very little money, but just so you could be secure.
Right, right.
You didn't eat certain foods. But who's driving all this? What is the premise behind why they're making these decisions? Who is it benefiting? Is it benefiting us? Or is it benefiting? That's the key.
It's a very corrupt system. That's
very corrupt.
up.
The world's corrupt. It's been corrupt forever.
Forever. And finally, we got people that are exposing it, you know? Because at the end of the day, like, you're talking about our children, right? Our children that are out here that are eating this toxic food.
Their brains are developing. They're being filled with poisons.
Poison.
Yeah.
Yeah. The environment, you know, all of that stuff.
We need to be protecting our children.
Right.
It doesn't matter what your political beliefs are. A child is somebody that needs to be protected until it, now, be it 18, be it 16, be it 19, 20, whatever that age may be.
That's the future of our country.
Yes, that's the future of our world.
So speaking about that, we're a powerful country,
Mm-hmm.
the United States of America. Doesn't matter if it's a Democrat in office or Republican in office. We're the USA. And
Yes.
nobody messing with us.
Right.
Now, and I'm, you know, obviously former first responder, firefighter, paramedic, come from a family of military. And they showed the stats, and they said that 70% of the young males in our country are not even eligible to join the military because they're not physically fit. Now, you as a health and wellness enthusiast and expert.
But here's what's crazy.
You know,
I'm 60 years old.
and you're physically fit.
And I couldn't be in the military because I'm too old unless I went in as a doctor of physical therapy.
Right.
And then I go in as an officer. So, I mean, everything's skewed. And if you understand research skewed too. All the stats that are coming out, they just give you the statistic. It's not always, if you understand statistics, it's an average.
But when you have,
And there are 3 different types of averages, not including variance standard. So everything, the numbers can be manipulated.
but when you have 70% of these young guys that
are
can't
coming
even
out.
protect their country, like you as a health and wellness expert, right? What do we have to do to change that and make sure that our country can be safe?
I think you hit on it perfectly. Get people behind the movement. Because life is almost cyclical. And if we get behind the movement of making America healthy or making America, because the world's not the same as America.
Right.
If we make America healthy again, it's almost going to be as though I'm a big superhero fan, like a Captain America.
Right.
We're going to be creating more Captain Americas out there. People can come in as scrawny and come out. Used to be if you wanted to get in shape, you joined the military.
Yeah.
You came out in shape. Boot camp.
that's
8 weeks
true.
of boot camp. You came out,
I remember when my brother went to the Marines. He went to boot camp, and man, he came shredded. I've never seen him that way ever in my life. And he's my older brother.
And you probably noticed he stood taller,
Oh yeah.
more confidence.
Confidence, chin up. You know, I learned a lot from that. You know, even so people make fun of me about this, but I get my hair cut twice a week. Before I had a beard, it was once a week. And they says, well, why do you do it so often? I says, well, when I was in middle school, my brother went off to the Marine Corps. And in the Marines, they make you get a haircut once a week, every single week. And the reason why is that you have to be clean cut. And that's how you represent, right? As one of the elite branches.
You were
of the military.
representing America.
So I said, you know what? If the elite branch of the military, the Marine Corps, they do that once a week, me as a regular civilian, that's how I want to be. I want to be clean and cut every single week, right? And I feel like the military sets a lot of those standards that people should actually follow.
And I'll go a step farther. You even followed your brother by becoming a firefighter.
Right.
First in, last out.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
You ran towards the fire, just like the Marines.
Yeah. Those are 12 years of seeing a lot of crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that for sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got stories that you could probably write a book on.
Stories of everything.
Yeah.
So, but they give me the opportunity to really see like how messed up the medical system is, and how people are not making their health a priority. You know, people are so quick to just go to the pill.
Right.
Let me just go ahead and control my blood pressure with a little pill versus eating a little bit less sodium, eating the right foods,
or the right type of sodium.
Or the right
because our body needs sodium.
Right. So, and then all the processed foods, the processed foods is just not going to help you.
No.
Right.
The dehydration, you're not drinking enough water.
Right.
Because I do home health as a doctor of physical therapy, and I'll have these conversations with individuals, and they might drink 1 to 2 8-ounce bottles of water a day.
Wow. That's it.
That's it.
That's not good.
No, and unless you have kidney disease.
What kind of water you typically drink?
I grew up on hose water. Now, I'm not recommending that still.
Listen, as a kid, I remember that's how we used to go to the hose.
The hose. Anybody said the neighbor's hose. Go.
Now you're like crazy if you do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And we weren't as sick back then either.
Right.
Because our body has an immune system. Our body's built to fight off. And that's what I was alluding to, where I'm not trying to turn somebody into a superhuman. I'm trying to help them ameliorate or fight off all the pollutants and allow the body to do what it was designed to do, maximizing its effects.
Right.
But water, I drink, we've got an osmosis system.
Oh, nice.
Where I live. So filtered numerous times and,
yeah.
Supposed to be more alkaline.
You like making sure your body's alkaline?
Yeah, but you know what? Not really, because sometimes there's been times I've been so tired where I've actually just gone to the tap.
The tap water.
Yeah.
There's some cities you might want to be careful with the tap
water.
Well,
absolutely. I mean, I did it in Miami, I did it in New York,
Yeah.
I did it in California, and I've done it here in Vegas. It's not a daily thing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, for convenience, I just buy a gallon jug and fill it up and go.
Right.
But I also am putting a lot of supplements in there, because typically when I'm working out, I'm always have a supplement. I'll either have powdered vitamin C and zinc in there. I'll have some form of a intracarb workout, which is a fast-acting glycemic carb, means converts to sugar very fast in your body to produce quick energy. I'll have a lot of amino acids in there.
Okay.
A lot of BCAAs.
Yep.
Just to keep my body fueled all the time, especially when I'm doing a workout, because when I work out at the pro level, each level you go up becomes a little more intense.
I bet.
So, and I'm just learning how to be a top pro. So right now, this is going to be my first full year as a pro.
So you're a mentor, you're a coach.
Yes.
You train other people and put them through the process. But how I've always said this, every great athlete has a coach. Who's your coach?
Well, my coach is Jonas Jimenez. He works out with me. We think alike.
Okay.
It's very important. He's my third coach. My first coach, well, that was just somebody that was recommended to me by probably one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. And he was lining her pocket. There was no blood work done. It just didn't sit right with me.
Wow.
My second coach was a little better. He was a pro. But the problem we had was I'm going to be competing against him. So you don't want to, you know what I mean? Something's going to be held back.
He'll give you the other formula.
Right. He'll give me 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
And for my first pro show, we have weigh-ins at pro shows because we have a weight cap. And I came in 10 pounds too heavy. So I had to spend 3 hours dropping 10 pounds of water.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Sauna, all that stuff. Huh?
Sauna, cardio in there. But the type of cardio you do has to be very low intensity because you don't want to get the muscle pump, which is going to add more weight. So then I had to put my brain to work. And
that becomes a science at that point.
But it was the diligence paid off because I won that show.
Nice, congrats.
But coming in overweight, well, it forced me to be drier and tighter.
So we're talking a lot about the body. So one of the things that we always touch up on is there's different facets to it, not just the body, but there's also your mind, and then there's also your spirit. So I want to talk about what you do to keep yourself in the right mindset.
That's probably the hardest thing, because we have everything chirping at us, including our mind.
Right.
And our mind's our own worst enemy.
Do you meditate?
I do in my own way. I do that as part of my breathing. I wake up every morning and I practice breathing exercises.
Breath work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I work on centering myself.
Okay.
I do a lot of journaling.
Awesome. Yeah.
You walk into my house and there's journals everywhere. You can't make heads or tails of what I'm writing, but you don't have to. It's for me.
Right. Yeah.
And that helps me identify what's going on and to stay out of my own way.
Yeah.
And to realize there really are no big deals in life. It's also helped me to become less judgmental.
Right.
Because I've worked a lot of time on Wall Street in my early years, and that's a very judgmental business. It's all about making money, and that's the only commodity you have. No, it's nonstop. I would be up at 3, 4 in the morning doing breakfast meetings, and you might work till 10, 11 at night and then repeat.
Right. Wow.
It is a very judgmental, very self-oriented, not in physical, but more in financial, in false deity, I'll call it, making yourself a god.
Right. What about for the spirit?
For the spirit, I do a lot of praying. I incorporate that into my meditation when I'm breathing, doing my breath work, also when I'm doing journaling.
You do affirmations also?
I do, positive affirmations, especially not as much as I should be doing.
Right. I think I'm guilty of that too. I need to start doing more of that.
Yeah. I'm very big in telling everybody else they should do it. And again, it's more of the do as I say, not as I...
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I've
it's the
noticed
hypocrisy
a lot of people that are guiding people, healing people, working on people, sometimes we're so focused helping other people so much
don't have
that we
for
forget.
us. Yeah.
And we got to take a step back and focus on ourselves.
Which is why I take a very small subset of people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to become that man that's overwhelmed where it's just a paycheck coming in.
Yeah. Right.
Because then I'm living in the system. I'm not living for
exactly
the individual. And I have to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
And you talk about spirituality. I'm a Bible believer. But I'm a Bible believer in the Bible, not the judgmental.
Right.
I believe Jesus came here because we're all messed up.
That's the truth.
And if we knew it and got it right and we could get it right, well, then he didn't have to die for us.
Right.
And who am I to say what you're doing is right if I can't do it myself?
Yeah. We all sin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. As you said, throw the first stone.
Live a better life. You know, that's what it comes down to.
Try today better than yesterday.
Yeah.
And you might fail, and hopefully you get it tomorrow. And that's the other thing. You don't know when your number's up.
Right.
But I want to make sure that I'm living life to the fullest in that amount of time, short as it is, so there are no regrets.
Right. And you know what? When you do fail, that's when you learn. That's where the learning lessons come, and you grow from it. You know, it puts you in a state of being uncomfortable, and when you're uncomfortable, that's when you grow.
That's funny you say that, because I always tell my clients, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I like that.
Because then you become comfortable.
Right.
And you move to a newer level, a higher level.
Yeah.
Each and every time.
Yeah.
But I think so much of our world today, and I have a feeling it's the youth that were before. Each generation becomes softer and softer and softer. So if we go back to, I don't know, early 2000, and by 2000 I'm talking 1900s, they would work all day long.
All day. Building stuff.
Yes.
They didn't have all the technology and equipment that we had.
And it stood up.
Right. And it stood up, and it's still standing up.
Yes. Today you build a home and you might get maybe 20, 30 years out of it, pay the mortgage off, and then it collapses.
The little wolf come and blow it down.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much, right?
So each generation, I think, has gotten a little softer. Our military is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Can you see our current military going to war, World War I, II, Vietnam, whether you agree with the conflicts or not? going in and doing battle.
You know, that's a rough one. You know, to even think about.
And it's all integrated like the body's integrated.
Yeah.
Because the body's an integrated system that works as a unit, not separately.
Yeah.
And so working as a unit, as you know, we're talking supplements. I'll take a lot of collagen for my skin. Every cell has collagen. As we age, we start to lose collagen.
Right.
But the whole system is integrated. And if you're not strong physically, mentally, and spiritually, and it doesn't mean you have to believe in God.
Right. It's having a spiritual belief.
Believing in something greater than you.
Right. Exactly.
Then you're going to be weak. And you're going to fall victim to the voices in the head or whatever's going on.
Right. Yep. I truly believe that for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lifelong process either. I don't believe we stop learning until we give up.
Yeah. You know, they say that you should never stop learning until the day you die. Like, you should always be learning.
Yeah.
It keeps your brain
great.
going too.
Well,
so, Doug, let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
What is the next big thing for you? What are you looking towards in the future here?
I have a lot of big things going on right now. I have an entrepreneurial spirit just because I like doing my own thing.
Right.
And I don't like answering to everybody else based on what their beliefs are. My next big thing is going to be more social media based.
Okay.
I'm going to start establishing more online health-oriented businesses.
Nice.
Just because I can reach a larger audience.
Absolutely.
I'm also going to ramp up my competition to see how far I can go. I actually have I think it'd be kind of cool to stand here and hold a Masters Olympia qualification card and a Social Security check in the other hand.
I like that.
And just to be like, okay, that's you don't see that.
You know, we got to do another interview when that happens. That's good. And you got to
Absolutely. Well, that's going to be within 3 years. I'm not, I'm a patient man. I've learned patience, and that's what health and fitness and bodybuilding and training has taught me.
Yeah.
To be patient, that things don't happen overnight, because if it comes overnight, it's probably going to fall overnight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that in Miami. A lot of fast things happen in Miami, so I'm used to it.
I love Miami. I love it. It's a great, great town. But I mean, every area, even Vegas and Miami, very similar.
Yeah.
We just don't have the beaches.
Yeah, there you go. That's the truth. So, Doug, as we wrap up here, if there's someone listening to this episode here and they resonate with what we were talking about, what is one thing that you can leave them with?
Be better today. Strive to be better today than you were yesterday in all facets of life. But you don't have to overwhelm yourself, because it takes time. Discipline's developed. You're not born with it.
Right.
So take it easy on yourself and try and be better today at doing something than you were yesterday.
Right. Doc, amazing. Where can people find you?
You can always find me on social media at Dr. Brookfit _ IFBB Pro. DM me. I'll reach out and get back to everybody. That's the easiest way to get me.
Amazing.
Through Instagram.
Amazing. Guys, you heard it from Dr. Brook here. You got to be better today than what you were yesterday. You're climbing a hill, but even when you get to the top, trust me, there's another hill to climb, and you got to keep on climbing. Never stop. Doc, appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.